Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about how to pick the best business model and the three concepts that have helped me guide me pick the best business model. So picking a business model is very important. As an online business, there are many different models that you can pick. Dropshipping, SMMA, what else is there? Like crypto trading, just trading in general, AI automation agency. There are so many things you can do online to make money, but they're building software, building a software company. There's so many different things. But I just want to show you like the concepts that have helped me make the right decision. And making that decision is one of the most important decisions ever. And I think that a lot of people, they make that decision very quickly without thinking about it. And you should think about it because deciding what you're going to do is going to decide the rest of your life and the rest few years of your life because you're going to do it for a while. So you should be informed when making a decision. And actually, I heard this on a podcast, like somebody said, like if you're going to study something, it's going to take you like 3, 4, 5 years. Well, we make the decision in 1 hour or maybe 2 hours. No, you should really think about it. And how do we think about it? So I have created this framework on how to think about the business model and how you should pick a business model. And I believe it's really good. And I want to share it with you guys. So let's have a look at the screen. All right, so let me grab the board here. So there are three different concepts. And the first one I'm going to talk about is probably already quite well known for you guys. Let me see. So the first concept is, I call it the boat concept. The boat. Because, as everyone should know, one of the best quotes of Warren Buffett is, it's not how hard you row, it's also what boat you are in. And that's a very important concept. Like if you're in the, I used to be in the wrong boat. I used to be in the wrong boat and I was rowing very hard. Like for example, I started as a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you can make good money, relatively more money than other jobs, but you have to row insanely hard. You have to row really hard. It's insane actually how hard you have to row to make money. So if you have a rowboat like this, yeah, I don't want to I don't want to curse here, but you're screwed. You're screwed because you have to row really hard to make some money, and you're just selling your time for some money, and that's not the best way to do. Now, of course, you have different, on an online way, you have different things to do. You can have like an online website building agency, which can be great. SMMA is what I do, and it's one of the best ways to start, I believe, because it's, if you see in the following concept, it matches the following concept, but it's a very good boat to be in because you don't have to row that hard. You have location freedom, you have time freedom, more or less. Depends on how hard you scale it and how hard you grow, but it's a very good boat. So if you have like a rowboat, you can also have like, let's say, a motor yacht. That's a motor yacht. Okay, so that's the first concept. Like it's not about like how hard you row, but what boat you're in. And actually, all my life now, since I know this concept, I'm figuring out, okay, what's the best boat to be in? Because there's always a better boat. So as you can imagine, let's run like through the different boats. So I was like a lawyer, startup founder, which is good, but I'm gonna explain why it wasn't good for me to start there. Gym owner, very hard boat. You can only scale it by having multiple gyms, so it's pretty hard. You have to row really hard to make good money. SMMA, really good, but after a while, like for example, you have a cap. Like in SMMA, if you make around 100K a month, which I'm not at that point, I'm around 30K a month. If you want to make like 100K a month, it's going pretty hard. You have to hire a lot of people, you have to manage those people. Clients will ask many of your time, a lot of your time. I mean, so it's not easy if you have like an SMMA. At some point it's capped. So what's the next boat that you can be in? Is like the info business. As you can see, like Iman Gadzhi, Max Persson, Charlie Morgan, all those guys, they sell info. Why? Because it's a much better boat. You have to row less hard and you can make a lot more money, so it's easier to scale. You can scale it, I think, to 100K a month easily. Of course, it also starts to crack at like 1 million a month or something. You probably have like a big team with a lot of people. In comparison to other boats, other business models, it's really low, but still at some point it gets, yeah, there is like this operational drag, but a much better boat. Another thing that you can look at, what's like even better than info. Like what even better is like the best highest leverage opportunity. As you can see, Alex Hormozy is in that boat now. So he also went through these phases. He had like a gym, trying to scale the gym. Somebody told him like, hey, you have a much higher skill level and you're in a very low opportunity. It's a bit the same as saying like you're in the wrong boat. So he went to Gym Launch selling info. It's an info business actually. They sell info. They do run ads for people. So it's info slash ads. And then he started like selling businesses, which is a much higher opportunity. Like you build a business, sell a business, and he had went into software, which is also a very high leverage opportunity because software companies get valued very high. But then the highest leverage thing that you can do, in my opinion, to my knowledge, is like invest in other companies. This is what Alex Ramosi is doing with acquisition.com. Because why? Because you, first of all, don't have to do a lot. You don't have to do any of the rowing. You're like an advisor. You sit next to the captain and tell him how to go and how he should navigate. Okay, I'm taking this, this metaphor a bit too far maybe. But it's the highest leverage opportunity because you're just investing in other companies. They're doing all the work, most of the work. You advise them, you give them some money, and they will like 50x, 100x your money if you pick the right company. It's one of the craziest ways to make money. That's why all the rich people do it. That's why there's so much billionaires in that space. Like real estate is the most millionaires. The most billionaires are people who invest in businesses. And that's the highest leverage opportunity because you don't have to row that hard, but you can make a lot of money. Now, of course, why don't we all just start investing in companies? Well, there are some requirements. Like you need capital, but you also need knowledge. And that's like my second concept that I want to talk about. And let me see if I can, yeah, I can find another color. So this I call the belt, the the belt. Okay. So why do I call it a belt? Because for me, it's very easy to compare it to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belts because I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I have a white belt, still a white belt. But there in business, there is a very similar concept. Like you can have a white belt in business, a blue belt, a purple belt, a brown belt, or a black belt business. And that really makes it very clear because this is a very important concept as well. And let me start with what I ended with, like acquisition.com. That's really like investing in other companies. That's a black belt, you know? That's black belt. Like this, and then here's the knot. That's black belt level. That's a black belt level business. It's very hard to start like a venture capital fund, to start a private equity company, a family office where you invest in other companies. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to be somebody that really can advise people because these businesses, they're growing quickly. They're very popular businesses. They have a lot of potential. So they won't just have one person giving them money. No, they will have a lot of people wanting to give them money to get a piece of the pie. And so you have to show that you're valuable. And that's the first thing. Like you have to get deal flow, people that want to work with you because you could add some value to them as an advisor. Not only your money, they have multiple people trying to give them money. So this will be like very, very high skilled individuals or very high skilled companies. They will be able to invest in companies. That's the first one. Second one is that you're making the hardest decision in the world because you're picking companies based on how big they're going to become. And that's like venture capital funds. They know that when they invest in 10 companies, like only two of them or one of them will be a winner and the other will be losers, or they will go bankrupt or just stay very stable and don't really grow that hard. And that's a very hard decision to make. And that's why it's a black belt level, because you have to make these decisions. It's very hard to make these decisions. It's the highest leverage opportunity. Just making the right decision, spotting the right company. If you can do it, you're very skilled. So that's black belt level. So you can't just start there unless you're like super intelligent, but it's very hard to be there. You need experience. Now, what I did wrong, I was talking to you about it, like software companies, they are also a higher level belt company. I would say it's like software is like a brown belt. It's a brown belt because it's not that easy to build a software company because if you don't have a lot of experience, like I did when I started the company, I had no experience with sales. I had no experience with marketing. I had no experience with the market. I never really worked a job instead of being a lawyer, but I had no idea. The product market fit was very hard for me to grasp. It was really difficult. And software companies need a lot of capital. That's one of the biggest hurdles of the software company. You need to invest, invest, invest. It takes a while. In most cases, it takes a while before they start generating cash. And that's super hard. So that's at least brown belt level or even black belt level of software company. And that's why it's so hard. So you can say, yeah, it's the best boat. I want to be in this boat. Yeah, but you have to have the belt to be in the boat. You know what I mean? So I like this concept, and I like to compare it because it makes sense in my life. Looking back at my experiences that I had, this is really the mistake I made. I was in a brown belt or a black belt level company while I was still a white belt in business. Okay, and then you have, so normally we have a purple belt as well, and then we have blue belt. Now, SMMA, where I'm in, that's a blue belt level opportunity. You need to have some experience. You cannot be a Dumbo and have no clue about what to do, but it's something you can learn if you take like 6 months of intensely learning how to run ads, how to do social media, how to sell. If you do that stuff, then you can really make a lot of money with SMMA. But it's blue belt level. It's more entry level. So I wouldn't say it's white belt level, because white belt would really mean it's like so easy that anyone can just start. You just start. But it's blue belt level. You can get to the blue belt level in business, let's say, or in 6 months of really investing heavily in learning this business. So that's why SMMA, like website or any type of agency work, like marketing agency, website agency, AI automation agency is probably a bit tougher to learn. Also, it's very new, but like any agency service, like running social media for people, social media management is also, I would say, a blue belt level business. Yeah, there are probably many more examples, but I can't think of any others. So that's blue belt level. Now we have the third concept, and the third concept, that is time. Whoops. Whoa. Timing, actually. Let me rewrite that. Timing. Timing. And this is a bit compared to the concept of a blue ocean and a red ocean. I don't know if you know that concept, but the timing of when you start a business is really important. For example, something that I have learned from my experience. So I started an SMMA. It's already a better boat. It's a blue belt level opportunity. And I was just in time to start an SMMA in the gym niche, because Alex Hormozy started it way earlier than me. He had much better timing than me. It was like, let's say, it was a blue ocean, which means blue ocean, that there is a lot of opportunity. He was one of the first guys to do it. He had like one competitor, and that competitor didn't look anything like Alex Hormozy. Was doing totally different thing. They were like just it was more like business coaches, while Alex Hormozy is really like a marketing and sales coach for gym owners. So he was really unique. He was really early to the game. He had perfect timing. Plus, it was combined with COVID, which had a lot of gym owners struggle really, really hard. So he did the perfect timing. He like started a little bit before COVID with turning around gyms. So he got a lot of popularity, like, whoa, he's a gym guy. He can make your gym go great. Then he started his info business. COVID happened, but everybody was like, oh my God, I'm struggling with my gym. What can I do? Oh no, we have the solution. And they really targeted heavily on people having owners having struggles during COVID. And a lot of gym owners, they worked with Gym Launch during COVID, and they grew, and they became one of the most popular gym business coaches, gym marketing coaches, or however you want to call it, gym info programs. So he had like a perfect timing for the gym. Now, I was later. I started in 2023, and this already, let's say, was no longer a really blue ocean. I was early, especially in my country, in Belgium. I was pretty early. But right now, the gym niche, SMMA gym niche, is a red ocean. It's really red. And the thing is, I can survive in a red ocean because I already built up some authority. I already have a lot of testimonials. I already have some clients who will stick with me forever. So I can survive in this red ocean because I was quite early still I was right on time. But if you're going to start right now in the red ocean, that's terrible. If you're going to start with the gym SMMA right now, it's going to be hard. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still make money then, but it's going to be really, really hard. It's much harder than when you started here, when Alex Ramosi started. Now, don't get me wrong, Alex Ramosi is a brilliant guy. He's super intelligent and hardworking. He's really insane. He's out of this world. But he also had timing, good timing. If you're going to start in the SMMA, gym SMMA niche, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to work really, really hard. Even if you're in a good boat, you're going to have to row really, really hard. And that's tough. That's tough. Now, that's why for example, I noticed this. It's really hard. And to grow, like, why is it really hard? Because everybody's doing the same. Like, everybody's offering the same thing. Everybody's offering like 30 new members in 1 month, full gym in 90 days. Everybody's shouting that. So I am shouting that. I have maybe some more proof than the other guys to show, but still, they're going to say, your price is this, your price is that, and they're going to decide on price. This is what happens in the red ocean. People decide based on the price that they have to pay because they have a lot of people supplying this service. While in the blue ocean, you're more in a category of one, you're unique, and people, they just want to, you're the only one. So they want to work with you, and you can decide what price almost. Like, you can go really, really high. Like Alex Ramosi asked like 45,000 euros for his coaching program. Try doing that right now. I don't see anyone that starts right now. You have a lot of different competitors of Alex Ramosi, but nobody will sell something for $45,000 a year. That's really hard. Now, what I also know is because I'm getting in the red ocean, I'm jumping out of this red ocean into a new blue ocean. And this is quite interesting. Blue, look, he's blue. So how? Because I noticed that everybody's running marketing for gyms. So what I'm doing right now is I'm offering software for gyms that they can use to do their own marketing. And that's really interesting because that's a new offer. And I'm like destroying the gym marketeers. I'm destroying myself. I'm like, hey, you don't need a marketeer. You can do it yourself. But I'm destroying myself at the same time, but I'm also positioning myself as something unique, something new. And that is like the blue ocean, because there are like already some people doing it in the US, some people offering like software together with coaching, but I'm like one of the first in Europe to do that, like offering software and coaching, and for a low ticket, like not a high ticket typical pricing, low ticket, monthly recurring, do your own marketing. We help you with your marketing, use our templates. This is quite a new offer, and I have first feeling, I did the first sales a month ago, and it goes really well. So that's how I'm positioning myself again in a blue ocean. And that's really important. The timing of your business is crucial. For example, there are many more examples of that. Like, for example, Uber. Uber had perfect timing. Tesla wouldn't have worked if they were like 15 years earlier. They had the perfect timing because everybody was being aware of like the climate and climate change and the environment. So it was like climate change and environmentalists, they grew in popularity, and at the same time Tesla. So it was like a perfect intervention, and that's why timing is super important. So I think I talked enough. I think these three concepts are crucial to decide like what business model you should pick and what niche you should pick. Choose your boat. Decide what belt you want to start at. Start low if you don't have experience, and then pick a blue ocean, because if you're in a blue ocean, it goes much easier. If you do these three things right, you're going to be very, very successful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna look at the camera. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned a lot about it. My goal is to help as many people reclaim their freedom and make money online, because it's the best way to make money online. All of what I showed you is 10 times better than just having a regular job. That's the point of the video. Like, don't stay in this boat where you have to row. Just pick a good boat. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to learn more, I have a free course about what I do and how I achieved what I have achieved. You can check it out if you want. And thank you so much. You can like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you guys, and see you later. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.